Hi, Mike Maynard here. I want to tell you why New Year's resolutions are terrible. Now, I know you might have subscribed or clicked onto this to find out how to make good resolutions. The way to make a good resolution is not to make them at all, because they don't work. You know, sometimes we rely on a new year to make a reset. And when that reset happens, we think it's going to change us. But real change takes place through repetition. In other words, it's not just I'm going to do this and then you kind of go on your merry way. It's continued change. It's you constantly have to remind yourself and change your thinking and change your behaviors and change your triggers and all of these things to get a different result. So forget New Year's resolutions. We're not into that. What we are into is creating goals. And I'm talking about realistic but aspirational goals. Things that you can set that can determine where you want to get to. You know, your goal could be, I want to be stronger. You know, I want to run faster. I want to be more confident. I want to be a better communicator. You know, I want a better job. What is your goal? Where are you going? You know, and without these questions answered, what are we doing? You know, there are many people that just drifted through 2020 and can't really show anything for it. We always have to be growing. It's important for who we are as people. And so if that's you, as I said, get rid of your resolution, make a goal. And let me give you some tips on how to do that. Number one, 3 tips. Number 1, a vision. Set yourself a vision. Now this doesn't have to be really deep, but I just want you to picture where you want to be or doing the thing that you want to do. Visualize it in your mind. Get a mental picture of that thing. Now sometimes people write it down, they put it down in a statement and say this is where I want to go. Sometimes people draw a picture. You've heard of vision boards, and they have loads of different images. There are different ways to capture your vision, but if you don't have one, what's navigating you? What are you aiming towards? So number 1, take some time to think, really, where do I want to go? Where do I want 2021 to take me? Number 2, once you have a vision, you've got to be honest with yourself where you are right now. So you've got to do an appraisal of the distance between that place where you're trying to get to and where you are now. What are those things in between? What's the stumbling block? How many steps are there needed to get to that vision? What walls do you have to overclimb? What tunnels do you have to dig through? If you imagine yourself on an actual journey, what do you need to do to get there? What's in your way? So number 2 is really being honest. I am here. You know, if your vision is to be an Olympic runner, and I don't know, let's say the record is 12.3, you know, whatever you're running, and you can run it at 20 seconds. The gap between you and your vision is 8 seconds or 7.7. So it's understanding exactly where you are and being honest with yourself, and then working out what are the steps needed in order to get me to that place where I want to get to. So that's number 2. And number 3 is take action. Now that may sound a simple one, but what I want to do, and I'm going to call this 3A, I want you to take yourself out of the equation. One of the biggest hindrances that we all have is ourselves. Every single day we get in our own way. We get up, and if we have good thoughts, we have a good day. If we have bad thoughts, we have a bad day. You know, if we're feeling great, then the world is good around us. If we're feeling bad, then the world is bad around us. You know, you have to get up and take yourself out of the equation. The easiest way to do that is this. I started working for myself years ago, nearly 20 years ago. And by the time I created my company, I came to the realization that I am working for my company. So it doesn't matter how I feel, I'm still answerable to my company. Now the fact that I own the company doesn't really matter, but the company's owned, and I'm just an employee carrying out instructions. There is no room for emotion. Now you can't go to work and be emotional at work and expect to, or have an outburst at work and expect your colleagues to like you or to still get paid or not to get disciplined, because we have no room for that. You know, so why do it in your own personal life? Why allow your emotions to hinder you, or how you're feeling, or whatever day of the week it is? You know, some people say, do you know what? I am happy every day, and they never are. Like we know those people, don't we? They just, like, they declare they're happy, but when you talk to them, they're as miserable as you like. And what that does, it creates unproductivity, you know? Because we allow, because of our emotions, if we're truly happy, we're more productive. If we're not, we're less productive, because we're spending emotional energy fighting to be happy, you know? And it's just a melee. So 3A is get rid of the emotion. And as I said, 3 is take action. Now that may just be one step at a time. It may be a smaller goal, smaller step. You know, you may have identified the gap in step 2 being massive, and so if that's the case, you break it down into manageable steps and just take one step, but make sure it's timed. So a month, 2 months, 3 months. But the most important thing is that you move. It's like if you go to the gym, the most important thing is that you get through the doors, because at least you're there, and that's the first hurdle. So, no resolutions. We're not doing that, but what we are doing is creating goals. And I'm talking good, solid, consistent goals. I hope this has been helpful for you. Hope 2021 is the best year because you decided to make it. Take care. See you later. Bye-bye.